Welcome to Documentary Filmmaking with WeVideo on iOS. You're going to learn how to create a nonfiction movie from beginning to end. First, you need to choose a topic, then research and read on that topic, then write an outline and script based on that research and reading, search for and gather and save resources, import those resources, put the pictures into timeline, and record voiceover into timeline, and then put background music into the timeline, and then you're finished. I'll walk you through each of these steps and go into a little bit deeper information about each step. Choosing a topic. Choosing a topic, of course, can take quite a while, but once you do, make sure you get it approved by your teacher. And for this example, you'll be seeing that I've created one movie, a documentary type film. I've chosen Miles Davis, my favorite musician. So I researched and I read about Miles Davis. I got books, I used the internet. You can, of course, use any resource that's available to you, but the wider and broader you search, the more you'll find and the better information you'll be able to gather and put into your documentary film. Take notes, whether it's post-it notes or you're writing it down or typing up things in a Google document, but do take notes as you read, making sure you don't forget those important things that you find the most interesting about your topic. Then you need to write an outline and a script, and that outline can take whatever form your teacher advises. You can do a very traditional outline or at least have big headers of information of what you want to actually cover. Ask yourself, what do I want to say about this topic? And those are going to be the things you're going to want, the salient points that you're going to want to put into your outline. Once you've drafted your outline and it's done, you can write a script. And I would write it as a conversation of what you'd like to share. I want to share this about my topic and make it very conversational because you'll be speaking this and saying this to people directly in your documentary. So you have to search for and gather and save resources. When I say resources, most of what you'll gather will be images. You want pictures. This is a movie, and so you do want to have a very visual, powerful element to it. Once your outline and script are done, you'll know what kind of pictures you want. If you go out and look for pictures first and then do your outline, you may realize I've outlined and want to mention some points. I don't have any pictures for that. So really the pictures and the images you gather should come after you know this is what I want to say about my topic. You can get pictures from the internet, scan them in from books. Any resource, of course, will be allowed and be permitted as long as you give credit. Do make sure you write down where you get your information from, whether it's a website or a book, so you can record that for your credits. All these resources you want to either scan in or download, and then upload them to a Google Drive folder. Make sure you have a folder just for this because you'll be gathering so many images, you're going to want to keep them very well organized in your Google Drive. To save those resources on an iPad, you can tap and hold on pictures that you find. Once you tap and hold, you'll see a pop-up menu that lets you add it to your photos, and that will add it to your iPad. Once you've saved that image to your iPad, you can tap that in your photos and then upload that using what I call the share arrow. The share arrow is a little box with an arrow pointing up, meaning you can share this with other people. Once you tap that share arrow, you'll get lots of options of ways to share it, and the place you're looking for is Google Drive, so you can put it into that folder that you're keeping all of your images you're gathering. So those resources, pictures will be on your iPad. We need to get them into a place where we can actually incorporate them into a film. So tap the WeVideo icon to start. And to get into WeVideo, you log in with Google. Once you're in WeVideo, tap the Create button in the upper right corner. You'll be asked to create a title, and you can change this title later if you come up with a very witty or a poignant title that you think is very good beyond just Miles Davis, for instance. You can always retitle this later, but do make sure you give it something that will help you remember what you're doing, especially if you're doing multiple projects. You need to remember which one this is. So where do you get those pictures from you recorded? You can use your camera to record and make something at that time if you want, directly into WeVideo. You can also visit media that you've got stored on your device and in Google Drive. So you have lots of options. You can record things right at that moment or tap device media, and then you can look at pictures you've already gathered that are already saved to your iPad. You can also then find recordings in other places like recent videos, screenshots. You may have, again, gathered resources from multiple places. And WeVideo lets you import them from any of those locations. My advice, again, is put everything in Drive so you have it in one place and you can look it over. And then you know you've got it saved somewhere that's besides just on your iPad. So you've gathered all those brilliant pictures. How do you get them in? Well, once you've imported them into WeVideo, you just drag them down with your finger, drag them down to your timeline. And once they're in that timeline, you can do all sorts of things with them, including add transitions. I advise do the transitions after you have all of your clips, all of your images in. Then decide what kind of transitions you're going to want to insert. Multiple clips you put in, they can be moved around. You can drag and lift and push things into the order you want them after you've dragged them into your timeline. Once all your pictures are in, your imagery is in, it's time to tap the microphone button in the bottom left corner to record a voiceover. At this point, you're going to want that script that you wrote so you can read from that and access that as you do your voiceover and not stumble or seek words that you're not sure what to say. So it's always best to do a written script. You might even do a practice run, record a voiceover, and then as you're doing that, make changes to your script where you realize I should also say this. And if you stumble or stutter or make a mistake, you can always stop and re-record. But I would advise doing it once, thinking I probably won't save this, but I'll give it a try. And then if you have to scrap it, add notes to it, add more information, you can always tap the button and do it over again. Frequently when I do voiceovers, it takes me about 2-3 tries before I find that rhythm or make sure I have all the information I thought I had. So don't be afraid if you have to do it 2 or 3 times. It will only take as long as your video, so 1 to 2 minutes. Most of your videos will probably be 1 to 2 minutes. You might make some that are as long as 5, but again, that won't take that long. If you have a script ready to go, you'll maybe be able to do it in 1 take. Once you've done all these things, then it's time to think about music. And you probably were thinking about music as you created your topic, as you developed and did everything for this project. You probably thought of music that might go with your project. Don't insert it though till the end. First of all, you need to know how long your movie is going to be, and you won't know that till you've done all the things we've done before this music suggestion that I advise you to insert it toward the end. You'll have a good idea of how long it is and how long your song needs to be. You'll also have an idea of the tone, the message. What are you trying to say about your topic and what music suits that? Tapping the musical notes on the left side will give you access to a huge library of different types of music, from sad to happy to energetic. All sorts of variety of music that could suit your topic very well. Then you're ready to finish. Finishing is as simple as tapping the arrow in the upper right corner. It's called the finish arrow. And it will ask you if you want to save to photos or another source. I advise save to photos. That way you have it on your iPad. You can play it on your iPad, review it, make sure it's good. You can also upload that to Google Drive if you think it's a totally finished product. So save to photos is your best option. Then you can also share it. There's a little share button, little dots on the side. Once you tap the 3-dot menu, you'll get the share option to share your video. Here then, again, you'll see a very familiar site. You can share that to Google Drive, and then you can use that to submit it to Classroom. That's it. Thanks for watching.